Hello and welcome. This is Christina Hills with the presentation on growing your online business, how online courses, sales pages, landing pages, and social media all work together. And my name is Christina Hills, and I'm known as a WordPress coach and teacher since 2008. And since then, I've been teaching coaches, consultants, speakers, authors, and business owners to create their websites in the Website Creation Workshop. And I teach all kinds of entrepreneurs. So you don't have to be a coach or a speaker or an author, all kinds of folks, artists, musicians, everybody. Everybody needs a website. But we're not specifically talking about website creation today. I've taught people from all over the globe, and on this webinar today we have people from Australia, Germany, Canada, Sweden, I think Israel, and United States, and I forget others in there, but folks all over the globe. And that's what makes having an online business so awesome. Before I was an online entrepreneur, I worked in the visual effects, special effects division of Industrial Light and Magic, which is George Lucas's company. I worked on Star Wars. I worked on E.T., the Extraterrestrial, and Jurassic Park. And this is my IMDb page, so I am listed in the credits in these movies. And here are just a few movie stills of the movies that I worked on. This is from The Lost World, that was Jurassic Park 2, and then Star Wars Episode 1. That was my past life. Now I'm an online entrepreneur, which is really amazing. So today we're talking about growing your online business, how online courses, sales pages, landing pages, and social media all work together. And I'm very visual when I teach. That's why I have slides, and it makes it a lot easier to follow along. So let's start. We're just going to jump right in. Let's start with a thing called an authority site. Authority site. So that's really basically your main website. So an authority site is a website that's trusted by the site visitors and industry experts. It provides quality content and information. This is your public website that people would Google to find you, or that you might list on your social media profiles. And can you just type in the chat, do you have a website? I'm just curious of the people on the call today. Do you have a website? It's okay if you don't, but it'd be great to know if you have one. And it's okay if you don't have one yet, or maybe you used to have one. All right, we see a lot of yeses and a few no's. And my webinars are very interactive, so I'll probably be asking you to type things in the chat. So let's keep going about an authority site. So your authority site, your main authority site, usually has a home page, maybe your programs or services. This could be your products, an about us, a contact us, and maybe you have a blog. So your programs and services, you might have group coaching or one-on-one coaching, or you might be a consultant. You might do personal consultations or other services and things you might have. This is kind of the how people work with you section. And then your blog, you may have various articles, and I'm going to talk more about blogs. So here's a screenshot of my site. And this is my programs page, my about us page, my contact us page, and my blog. And you'll see on my contact us page, I have a map because I really think maps are cool, but you don't need to have a map on your contact us page. All right, so that was an authority site. So I'm going through these different terms, and now I'm going to talk about landing pages. So have you heard that term, landing page? I'm just curious. Type it in the chat. All right, we got a lot of yeses, some no's. All right, well, I'm going to explain it. A landing page is a web page that is distinct from other pages on the site because it's created for a specific purpose. Typically, it's used for lead generation, list building. So here's an example of a landing page. So a landing page would be a page someone would land on, and it has a specific purpose in mind. And so that specific purpose is a call to action, CTA, call to action. So the call to action, CTA stands for call to action, and on an opt-in page, that's generally the sign up button on your page that asks people to enter their name and email address in exchange for a PDF and or a video. So here is the landing page, and the call to action is click here for free instant access. So let me walk you through this little diagram of how the opt-in process, how the landing page process works. So somebody lands on your landing page, they want the free offer, right? So this is the landing page, free offer. And they enter their name and email, and they get to a thank you page. From there, the thank you page can do many different things. Their information goes into your email marketing database, and then they get emailed either one or a series of email messages. So here is the landing page. And then when you click on this button, up comes a pop-up. Right now, you don't have to have a pop-up. This is just how this one works. It could click and then you could just see it on the page. So here you enter your name and your email, and sometimes there's a little box that says, yes, send me the info, and you click on free instant access. Once you opt in, you get to a thank you page. And in this instance, the thank you page has the PDF download and the video. Now, sometimes a thank you page says go check your email. So do note that there's different ways to do it. And if you're like, Christina, well, how should I do it? It's really up to you how you want to do it. So this is the thank you page. Now, at the same time, an email goes to them with the same information that's on here. So if you're wondering, well, Christina, why send an email with the same thing if you already gave them the thank you page? Well, maybe they landed on your thank you page and the phone rang and something happened and they left the house or whatever. The email then kind of reminds them. And the purpose of a landing page with an opt-in, often called a lead magnet, is to start an email relationship with your visitors. So, are you here on this webinar today because of an email? So did you get an email from me letting you know about today? So if you could just type that in the chat. And I'm seeing lots of yeses. So I have an email relationship, but we're going to be talking about social media as well. So let me move on to the next slide. Here's another example of a landing page, and the thank you page for that. This one gives you the download, so it's 5 rules for choosing a WordPress design. And then the thank you page, this one happens to have an invitation for another webinar. So there's lots of things you can do with the thank you page. All right, so that was the landing page I talked about an authority site. I talked about landing page. Now what I want to do is talk about your blog. So your blog is content marketing and relationship building. And are you familiar with the term content marketing? I'm going to be explaining it. Okay, so what is a blog? So your blog is often the meat of the authority site, meaning on my authority site, my blog has all my articles. And it's a great way to share your expertise by writing articles. So this is a screenshot of my blog, and I have, the featured article at the top, and then I have other articles down below. It helps to interact with your site visitor, nurtures relationship, and builds trust. The nice thing about a blog is it naturally attracts the search engines. So I know a lot of people have a newsletter and it goes out in email only. And I say to these folks, hey, you should take your newsletters and put them on your blog, because then the search engines will say, hey, there's activity over on this site. Let's go take a look, and it expands your reach. Now, I like the term blog, but some people don't like that term, so you could call it your recent news, or it could be your tips, or your upcoming events, or case studies. There's lots of other terms. So on my site, it has the term blog. You can have upcoming events or recent news, etc. You can name it whatever you want. So here at the top is in my menu, this is my top menu, I have the term blog. And then when you click, you get into the article. So let me just go back one moment. So websitecreationworkshop.com/blog, that has all my articles on the front page. But then when you click on one, you get into the blog post article. And this one is all about how to crop a picture into a circle, and there's a little video. It's a great tip. And the URL for that is blog design tips, how to crop a picture into a circle. So your blog can have different categories, and the categories would be different for each person. So that is the blog part of your online presence. So social media, your presence on social media. So let's talk about the different social media platforms. So who hangs out where? Each social media site has its own kind of personality. Facebook, pretty much everybody is on Facebook. Twitter, it's more for news media and customer service. So the bigger brands use Twitter. In the old days, people use Twitter like Facebook. But now the average Joe is only on Twitter, I see, to kind of complain about stuff, or for people to see news media. So when something happens, people go to Twitter and they look up the company and see what happens. LinkedIn, this is more corporate. It's B2B. Lots of recruiters are on LinkedIn, corporate networkers. This is very businessy, whereas Facebook is businessy and personal. Pinterest is very visually oriented. It tends to lean towards a female audience. It's great for crafters, photography, food, fashion, fitness, beauty, and it has its own format. And Instagram. So Instagram, I probably should have moved it underneath Facebook, because Instagram has gotten really big. It's personal, visually oriented, tends to have younger people. My daughter's like, oh, I don't want to be on Facebook. All her friends are on Instagram. The thing about Instagram is you can't follow links, and that's why I like Facebook, because you can post a link and follow a link. Instagram is like a billboard you pass on the freeway. You see it as you're driving by, but you can't take any action. So, and lots of big brands use Instagram, so that really should say personal and brands. And I didn't mention YouTube because it's kind of its own thing. So that's why I didn't mention that. So think of your website as the center of this universe. And you go to these social media sites so that you can bring traffic to your site, right? So that is what I do. That's what a lot of people do, where they post their articles and their info on these different sites, drawing people to your site. So you basically want to take your articles and share to social media for more exposure and traffic to your websites. And I will show this at the end. All right, so that was social media. Let's talk about sales pages. Sales pages are for selling. So a sales page, and this is a screenshot from my website creation workshop, is distinct from other pages on the site because its sole purpose is to sell a product. It has only one focus. It typically doesn't have any menus. See, there's no menus, there's no sidebars, there's no distractions. It has one purpose. So it's kind of like a landing page, but a landing page is generally for an opt-in. A sales page is to sell a product or a program. So looking at your authority site and your articles for your blog, your sales pages, they're sort of standalone. You can link from your site to these, but they don't have menus in them. So here's my main website and with all my core authority site pages, and then here are my program sales pages. And when I'm running a promotion for a program, I'll link my sales page off of my main website. So the job of your sales page is to turn visitors into customers. So here is an example from my graphics creation workshop. And I know I've got some of my students in that program here on the webinar today. So you come to the graphics creation workshop.com/enroll. There's no menus, there's no sidebars, there's a headline, and then I didn't include everything in the middle, but you scroll to the bottom and there is a link to enroll. And by the way, this is on sale now for $197 if you are interested in signing up. So the buy button at the bottom, that is a call to action, right? So you always want to think, what's the call to action? In different instances, it is different. So for this sales page, the call to action is to get enrolled, right? So to click to enroll now. So we talked about a call to action for people to opt in. This call to action on a sales letter is the buy button that takes people to your shopping cart. And here is a screenshot of my shopping cart, my secure order form. So that is a sales page. Now I want to talk about an e-commerce site. So I'm going through all these different sites and all these different definitions, and then I'm going to weave them together. So a sales page is not an e-commerce site. So what is an e-commerce site? An e-commerce online store. An e-commerce site is an online store. So e-commerce is buying and selling of goods and services over the internet. So if you're selling, you are doing e-commerce, but an e-commerce site is a store where the goal is for people to buy multiple products. So the goal is to buy a shirt and a checkered shirt, a denim shirt, and maybe another check shirt. You know, think of Amazon, right? When you go to Amazon, the goal of Amazon is to get you to keep adding items to your basket, right? So that is the purpose. That is an e-commerce store, is you're adding a lot of things to your shopping cart basket and then you check out. Now if you're not building a store, you still might have different options to sell from your site. So maybe you sell a coaching package, a single session, 3-session, or a 5-session package. Maybe you have individual coaching versus group coaching. So you're selling from your site, but you're not an e-commerce store. And with the website creation workshop, I have different payment plan options. So these are 3 different payment plans, but you're buying one thing. So I hope that this has helped kind of cleared up the, oh, am I building an e-commerce store? Most of my clients are not building e-commerce stores, although some have. I've had artists and I've had healers sell their different products and they have a store. But you think of an e-commerce site is a storefront like this, whereas a sales page you're selling one thing. So again, I do have a lot of students who do have stores, but just know what it is that you're doing. All right, the last thing I want to talk about, and then I'm going to weave this all together, is online courses. Or you could think of them as membership clubs, right? Selling an online course or a membership club. So the website creation workshop is my online course. I've been teaching it since 2008, and this is a screenshot of what it looks like inside. And if you're listening to me and you're one of my older students, you'll notice it's gone through a little bit of a facelift. It has a different look now. So a online course, this is the materials for my online course, is in a password protected members area. So you can only get there if you are a paying client, customer, student, whatever word you like to use. Your clients, client area, student area, and people get access to this once they've purchased. So here is another example. This is the graphics creation workshop. So once you enroll in that program, then you get a username and password and you log into the members area. So this is a private members area that you only have access to if you've got a username and password, and you get that once you purchase. So what I just covered was authority sites, landing pages, blogs, which is content marketing. You're sharing your articles, right? So you're sharing your content. That's called content marketing. I talked about social media sites, sales letters, e-commerce sites, the difference between the two. And then I talked about online courses and membership sites. So the difference between an online course and a membership site, an online course is you pay once and you go through the course. A membership site is monthly. You just pay every month until you decide that you're done. So here is the path woven together, and then I will take questions. So you have your authority site, website creation workshop. You have your landing page. So this might be something I might list in a link in my social media. I might send people, or I might do an email blast. There's lots of different ways to get people to a landing page. And then they opt in, and you're now building that email relationship. So this is what they get, probably the first email from that relationship. Your blog builds relationships and provides a way for you to market your content. So let's take that article, that example I showed you, and you would copy that link and you would share it to a Facebook business page. So you just copy and paste and share that in. You can also share it to your Facebook personal profile. So this is my personal profile, and I put a few sentences and I paste in the link. You can share it to LinkedIn. Here's an example of me sharing it to LinkedIn. You can share the picture to Instagram, and you can include the link, but see how it's not highlighted? It's not like a highlighted link. Nobody can actually click on it with Instagram. You can also share to Twitter. So I'm sharing that same article off to Twitter. And you can share on Pinterest. And Pinterest has this really vertical look. And when you share to social media, you're going to get new people who are not on your email list. And those new people will come back to your site. And remember that landing page? Well, I have it in my sidebar. So they'll see the article and they'll see the sidebar and they can opt in. Now, sometimes people have these pop-ups, and sometimes I have a pop-up and sometimes I don't. And you can set up a pop-up on your blog as well. So all that marketing activity that I was doing all over social media will lead people to a promotion when I'm running a promotion. And the sales page will lead people to an online order form, which then leads them into the online course. So let me tell you about my next free training event, and I will be taking questions here. My next one is all about creating online courses. So we go more into details about creating an online course like I have with the website creation workshop. So you can go ahead and opt in, and I'll probably demonstrate that. And that is in about 2 weeks. I am doing another free training, and there's 2 days to pick from. They are the same webinar, but it will be on 2 different days, and whatever kinds of questions we have, they'll be, the Q&A will be slightly different. And I also wanted to let you know that my Create Your Course workshop is going to be opening soon. In about a couple of weeks, we will open the door to the Create Your Course workshop, and I will be talking about that more during that next free training. So this has been my big picture overview of growing your online business, how online courses, sales pages, landing pages, and social media all weave and work together. And again, my name is Christina Hills. All right, let's go to questions, Joanna. And I can go back to the slides, but let's see what kinds of questions we have.